Good morning. Happy Thursday. I hope you all are doing really, really well. I'm so happy to welcome you here to my home studio and to our Thursday morning practice. And I thought I would just give it a moment. There's Jason. Good morning, Jason. I hope you're doing well today. I hope the sun is shining down there in SoCal. And really awesome to see you. Hi, it's good to see you over here. We'll just give it a moment for people to join in. Just trying to figure out one little thing here over on the Facebook deal. Awesome. Okay. And we can go ahead and get started. I wanted to just let you know that there's a couple of logistical things. Good morning to have handy here today. So in our practice today, you're going to want to have a tennis ball or a ball-like thing. If you don't have a ball laying around your house, you can also just roll up a wad of socks, and that'll work as well. And let's see here, you'll also want to have a block. And again, if you don't have a block, it's really not a problem. You'll just maybe grab a couple of books or something like that, something that is going to be able to stack up a few inches high, or just lay our pelvis on it at the end. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a yoga block, but just something where you can stack up nice and tall. Tracy, good morning. I'm so happy you're here. It's really good to see you. This practice space has kind of been surprising me. The online virtual practice space, it's taken me a little while to get used to, for sure, but it's really, really sweet. It's really fun to practice with you all and see you all at this time. It's really an interesting way, and it's so amazing to be able to tune into even this more subtle quality of being able to feel someone who's not in my immediate presence. So it's really pretty profound, actually. So I love it. Is that Jen that's here? Jen, good morning. Yay. I'm so happy you're here. Awesome. We need to catch up, girl. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And again, make sure you have a tennis ball or a ball-like thing. You could roll up some socks and a block or a stack of books. And so this week I've been doing like a little series helping us to unwind our patterns of tension and stress in the body, the mind, and the spirit. And today I wanted to look at this whole area. I don't know about you, but for me and for a lot of people in moments of stress and moments of tension, this whole area tends to start to shut down and armor up. And it's just a pretty habitual, I think primal even, response to, in moments of stress when we're just kind of holding a lot, we have this protection mechanism to curl in and shut down. And in the body, well, first of all, we kind of do this zone, and then our head juts forward, our chin juts forward to just kind of see the horizon, and we tend to close off this really important neural junction here at the back of the base of the skull, and that tends to wreak havoc on the nervous system. But then we also tend to find a lot of tightness and tension in through the front of the chest, as well as a lot of tension at the back of the chest and at the back of the heart. And so physiologically, it can wreak some havoc on our bodies, and then also on our nervous systems. But what I also wonder is, what is the risk of living with a heart that's all boarded up? And what is the risk of that for me, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? And I feel like living with a heart that's all armored up doesn't allow me to really feel life. It doesn't allow me to truly connect. It doesn't allow me to feel not only the pains and the sorrows, because that's what my body's protecting me from, but it doesn't allow me to feel the vitality and the joy either. Because to the degree that we numb ourselves and block ourselves and board ourselves up, from the pain, we board ourselves up from the joy and the other side of life too. I mean, that's the thing. When you build a wall, it's like nothing gets in. So today we'll see what it's like to disarm the heart, and just see what that's all about. Because for me, the risk of living with a heart that's all boarded up is just not worth it. I'd rather be able to feel everything: the challenge, the sadness, the hurt, the joy, the elation, the delight. I feel like that's ultimately what we're here for. So we'll work on just disarming the heart and relieving tension in this whole zone. So grab your props and come to a seat. You'll see I have my blanket just kind of laid out here on the floor. I'm sitting up on a little cushion. We're going to be seated for a little bit. So if you want to sit up on a cushion, you don't need a fancy meditation cushion. You could sit right up on a couch pillow or something like that, or even a folded up blanket, just to give yourself a little bit of height. So just take a moment to stop and to settle. And allow yourself to experience a little bit of space between the teeth. Soften the tension in the jaw. If it feels okay to you to close the eyes and turn the gaze inside. If not, you can simply take a soft gaze down your cheeks. Allow your shoulders to soften down and maybe just a tiny bit back. In fact, you can allow your whole torso to rest back just a little bit, as if you were resting, sitting at the base of a tree and just resting the back of your heart on the trunk of the tree. Just feel how you're held. And experience the sensation of breath just here in your chest. In fact, maybe just put one hand right over your chest and your other hand over that. Keep your shoulders soft and relaxed. And just experience the turning of breath right here in your chest and your heart beneath the palms of your hands. Nothing to do but just experience your natural breath in the space of your chest. Now we'll engage in a kind of pranayama, kind of breath practice this morning. It's called Vyana Vayu, the winds of the heart. Simply imagine that the breath originates right in the very center of your chest, in the very center of your heart center. And as you inhale, it radiates out infinitely in all directions, front, back, side, up, down, circumferentially. And then as you exhale, everything settles back into the center of the seat of the heart. So again, from the center of the heart, radiating out in all directions. And as you exhale, the breath and the awareness softening and settling to the center of the heart. Just feel the tension melting from the inside out by simply taking the breath to the heart space. And this tender touch of the hands to the heart space. Allow the tension in and around the heart to start to thaw, to melt. Just soften, even if it's just a little bit. So we'll continue like this for the whole of practice today, simply breathing in and out of your unbound heart. Each breath, giving it a little room. Every exhale, a little softness, a little melting. So it's as if every inhale could stretch just a little bit the radiance of your heart. And every exhale, just a little bit, can allow your heart to melt and soften. Continue to breathe in and out of the space of the heart. Now relax your jaw completely and allow the fullness of your awareness to drop from the head space and to land and to spread in the space of the heart. Release your hands down to touch the earth either side of your hips. And as if the winds of the breath could catch the wings of the arms as you inhale, allow the breath to carry the arms out and overhead. Maybe even the heart lifts up, maybe even the head lifts up, maybe even the fingers touch. And as you exhale, simply lower the hands back down by the sides as the breath lands and the attention lands and softens and melts in the heart space. So just like that, as you inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And as you exhale, allow everything to melt as you land and settle back into the center of your unbound heart. Just 3 more. Following the winds of your own breath. Your own breath's rhythm, your own life's rhythm, your own heart's rhythm. Every inhale, just a little bit, stretching the capacity of your heart's reach. Every exhale, just a little bit, melting from the inside out. Last one. And simply rest your hands on your knees. Take a moment to feel into the space of the breath. Again, lean the back of your heart against the trunk of that tree. Allow the chin to drop a little tiny bit down towards the belly of the throat so that the back of the neck opens, comes long. What is the risk of living with a heart that is all boarded up? Does it outweigh the risk of disarming the heart? You get to choose. And we'll start in here with a little segment with some Sufi grinds, but we'll do this in a different kind of way. The first round, I want you to see if you can lead with your chin. So leading with the chin, lean forward to the front edge of your sits bones, let your chin kind of pull away. And then start to curl over to the right sits bone, curl your chin over your right shoulder. And then as you exhale, tuck back, chin to chest, round way back onto the back edge of the sits bones. And then you start to lead with the chin, go over to the left, and then back to the front. So just keep going around like that, leading with the chin. Starting to lube up any tension in the back of the neck and the front of the throat. Just be easy with yourself. As you curl around, just looping around in cycles and circles here, but leading with the chin. Just feel what that's like to loosen up through the neck and through the throat. And then reverse directions and just see what that's like to go the other way. Just take your time with it as you continue to breathe in and out of the space of the heart. This is a heart that's wide enough to hold it all, to hold this to whatever this is for you right now, be it a creak, an ache, a tightness, a tiredness, a soreness. Continue to allow it Just land and settle in the space of your heart. We'll just finish that cycle and meet me back in the middle. It's the back of the heart and the base of the tree. Allow the chin to soften just a little bit down towards the belly of the throat. Now we'll engage that whole thing one more time. And this time you're going to lead with your right shoulder. So you just kind of dip your right shoulder in and around to the right and then start to loop it back. And then loop your right shoulder around to the left and you pull it through. And of course the left shoulder will come into play as well. But you're really just leading with the right shoulder and just notice what it's like to move then from the shoulders. Just seeing if you can move soft enough that you can start to melt the tension with the movement instead of creating more tension with the movement. Use this movement to melt away any residual stress or holding. And then come back through to the center and pause. And switch directions. This time you'll lead with the left shoulder. And just see what that's like. And just loop around, leading with the shoulders. Noticing how having this different focal point changes the way that you feel this in your body. Continue to breathe in and out of the space of the heart. Every inhale, stretching the heart's reach just a little bit. And every exhale, melting from the inside out. Just one more like that. Meet me back in the center. Now for this last little series, you'll move from the actual rib cage itself, from the very heart center itself. So leading with the chest, you can allow your chest to come forward and then peel off to the right and peel back. Loop to the left and around to the front. Really leading with the heart center. And just feel what that's like. Maybe the movement's a little bit more subtle here. So you're just starting to loop around the actual heart center. And then just see what it's like to wind it around the other way. Leading with the chest. Circling the heart center. Circling your capacity for wisdom and grace and unconditional love. Allow those circles to grow smaller and smaller until you land and settle. Here in the center, mind in the breath, breath in the heart. Stretching and melting from the inside out. And allow your eyes to open and grab your tennis ball or your ball-like thing. If you have a roll of socks, that'll work too. And you'll take this out onto your back. Now I'm going to show you here where I'm going to place the ball. So you'll have your right shoulder blade, right? So you can see that. And then there's this little bony thing. It's called the spine of the scapula that just goes out across the back, out towards the right shoulder. And so the first placement of the ball, we're going to take it between the shoulder blade and the spine. So not right on the shoulder blade, not right on the spine, but there's kind of this juicy area right between the shoulder blade and the spine, below the spine of the scapula. And we'll just take it somewhere in there. So we'll be there for a little bit, and I'll give you the opportunity to kind of roll up and roll down a little bit. And then we'll take it just above the spine of the scapula, kind of maybe even in here towards the neck or out here towards the shoulder. Our sweet spots are a little bit different for each of us. And then we'll take the ball out completely. But I just wanted to show you before we lay it back so you weren't confused. So we'll take the ball on the right side first. You'll just lay it down onto your blanket or onto your mat. And find that first sweet spot I was talking about. And you'll be able to, whoa, there it is. You'll be able to feel it right there between the shoulder blade and the spine. And you can feel free right here to just be sweet with it and roll up and down just a little bit and see if you can find the spot that works the best for you. See if you can find the spot where you really hold the tension in there. Oh, there it is. And then allow yourself to land and settle with a tender breath on that space at the back of the heart. And just take a moment here to take heart in a moment that possibly can take your breath away. To rest back in the arms of your breath. Breath in and out of the space of the heart. As you inhale, allow the breath to help you to expand your reach of what it is that you will accept. And as you exhale, simply soften and melt. Now we'll begin to loosen up, keep the ball pinned here, but loosen up through the neck and through the belly of the throat. So as you inhale, nice and full, and as you exhale, really slowly, allow the right cheek to drop towards the floor as you turn your gaze to the right. As you inhale back through to the center, and as you exhale, allow the left cheek to drop down towards the floor. Be really sweet with yourself here as you inhale back through to the center. And you just keep going back and forth, side to side. Breathing in and out of a heart whose capacity is wide enough, big enough, strong enough, resilient enough to hold it all, this too, whatever this is for you. There's one more wag of the head. And the next time your cheek drops to the left and the gaze drops to the left, just stay put right there. And this might be where you stay. Maybe you just stay put and breathe in and out of the heart here. Maybe if it's not already, you flip your right palm facing up. You could see what it's like to move that right arm, maybe a little bit more down towards your side, or out straight from the shoulder, or maybe even up towards the top corner of your mat or the upper right corner of the room. And when you hit a sweet spot, and a sweet spot, by a sweet spot I mean that place where you boarded up your heart, or the place where you feel a little bit of tension, a little bit of strain. Take a moment to stop and be tender with that space, to hold and to melt it with your breath, with the light of your loving awareness, with your patience and your compassion. These areas of holding, these areas of tension, we're just trying to keep us safe. We didn't understand that when we build up a wall, nothing gets in and nothing gets out. So as you move in here to these sweet spots with your breath, allow it to feel safe. So don't go in so far where it feels like you're jamming and ramming and forcing something that doesn't want to go. Just go to a place where you first feel some sensation and breathe with patience and compassion there. Allow it to feel safe in your nervous system so that you can gain tolerance to these places again, gain access to these places again. Maybe you keep your hand rested on the floor. I know sometimes people like to kind of move the arm around in the air. Breathe in and out of your gracious heart. On your next inhale, allow the gaze to come back through to the center. And exhale there. Now, take your arms back down by your sides if they're not there already. And all you're going to do is roll your body down just a little bit so that the ball comes up and you trap it right there at that space above the spine of the scapula between the neck and the shoulder. And you can kind of decide whether the ball is closer in towards the neck or further out towards the shoulder. Again, you might just want to roll around in there a little bit to find that sweet spot where you could hold it with a tender sense of safety. Breathe. Experience the breath in and out of the space of your heart as you inhale, expanding the capacity of your heart's reach to hold this too. As you exhale, just softly melting. And maybe you stay put right here, or sometimes it can feel really amazing to push into the feet and lift the hips just a little bit off the floor. You can even the hips aren't lifted, you can kind of wag your hips from side to side, just kind of rolling the bottle a little bit in and out. And just play with it. What feels like it helps you to tenderize this space of tension. When I meet a space of tension, I often stop, whether it's in my asana practice or whether it's in my life, I often stop right there in the moment of tension, the moment of trigger, the moment when I'm hooked, and ask myself, how can I best take care of my heart right now? And then I listen. And sometimes I respond. Just a couple more breaths here. How can you best take care of your heart right now? If the hips are lifted, release the hips back down to the floor. Remove the block from beneath the right side and just rest. And notice the light here on this right side. Maybe you feel a little bit more soft, a little bit more spacious there on the right side. Maybe you feel a little bit more vulnerable or exposed. You can ask yourself, what's the risk of vulnerability and exposure? And what's the risk of living with a heart that is all boarded up? And then you get to choose. And now we'll just move this over onto the left-hand side. So again, you'll take your ball underneath the left side on the left upper back, somewhere between the shoulder blade and the spine. And you can play with it a little bit here. And you can roll a little bit up and roll a little bit down, just to see where it is that the sweet spot lives on this side. It doesn't have to be the same as on the first side. You know, life asks very different things of the different sides of our bodies. So just be really present. And find the sweet spot and nestle in. Oftentimes, when I have more time, I'll take some time to just work with a few different spots here below the spine and the scapula. But for right now, just choose one, and then land and settle. And as you meet the resistance, notice that this is the time, this is the opportunity that you have to redefine how you meet resistance and how you let the hardness and the storms of life season you and guide you and help you to learn and to grow. Start to wag your head back and forth on the tides of the breath. Starting to unwind the tension, not only in the upper back, but in the neck and in the throat. Softly, in good time, starting to disarm the heart. Knowing that it takes the time that it takes. We're not just going to let it all fall right now. Have patience with yourself and the process of unwinding. Allow the head to drop to the right. Stay there. And then flip your left palm up Or maybe you just need to lay the left hand on the belly and that would be fine. It's free reign to explore. You can have the hand down by the head or out to the side. Or maybe up a little bit higher than shoulder height or just shoulder height. I just noticed right there that I was really borrowing from my low back, trying to spring up away from the experience in the ball. So I just lifted the hips and softened my low back down. And you allow a deep breath in, a slow breath out. Softening and melting little by little, bit by bit. The ice doesn't melt all in one moment. You know, it's drop by drop, bit by bit, and it's melted by a sense of soft warmth. If I really want to chip at the ice, I go out with my ice chipper and I start to just bang it apart. But I wouldn't recommend that in your body. Just allow this tension to soften and melt under the touch of warmth of your open, loving presence. Maybe you stay more still with the left arm, or maybe you move it around and just explore what it's like, a little bit of movement, either on the floor or off the floor. You start to notice how it's all connected, how different tensions that are maybe lower or higher in my body might be anchored and rooted in this tension that I'm holding right beneath the ball right here. Just one more full-hearted breath. Draw your head back to the center, your arms back down by the sides. And just roll down a little bit here so that the ball rolls up, and trap the ball right there at the space above the spine of the scapula, between the neck and the shoulder. And you can find that sweet spot. Maybe you have to roll in and roll out just a little bit. On this side, mine is pretty darn clear. It's right here. You take a moment to land and settle there. And in the face of tension, simply practice taking heart, mind in the breath, breath in the heart. And maybe you stay put right there, or maybe you press into your feet and lift your hips up just a little bit. And that'll direct a little bit more pressure on the ball into the neck and into the shoulders. So just be really sweet with yourself. If that's just a lot, put your hips back down and just rest there. For me on this side, that's a little bit much. Doesn't feel like melting, it feels more like chipping. So soften in here with my breath. Patience, my love, patience. How can you best take care of your heart right now? Three more breaths. And after that third breath, take your time though, let it take the time that it takes. Lower the hips if they're lifted, and just remove the ball and lay out onto your mat. Just notice what that's like. These little bits of melting around the space of the heart. Now grab your block or your books or your stack of books, or you could even place a pillow underneath your hips, and bend your knees. Put the feet on the floor, lift your hips a little bit up into the air, and just slide your block on its low setting, or your pillow or your stack of books. Keep it pretty low. And just let the back of the hips rest on the block. So you're resting the butt on the block, the sacrum on the block. Just opening up along the back of the neck, soft in the belly of the throat, allowing the heart to be just slightly above the head and opening up that pathway, the bridge between the head and the heart and the head. That posture of protection that I was showing you at the beginning of practice keeps all of our energy bound up in the head, keeps us disconnected from the heart. This allows the pathway to open so that the heart and the head can communicate, can synchronize. As we disarm the heart, it has the capacity to inform the turning of our thoughts and the direction of our rationale. There's a deep-seated, the heart is the center of deep-seated wisdom. And right here, as the chin bows in and the forehead bows to be close to the heart, the mind's like a crystal, taking on the qualities of whatever it gets near. Let it be near your heart. Listening. Always listening. And maybe you stay put right here, or maybe you take this modified shoulder stand and lift your legs up into the air. You can have your knees bent or your legs straight, or you can keep both of your feet on the floor. How can I best take care of my heart right now? And then you listen. Heart wise, head bowed and humbled close to the heart, listening. If your legs are lifted, simply lower the feet back down to the floor. Push into the feet, allow the hips to lift up. You can slide the support from beneath the hips. Just lay that support off to the side. If it feels like you need to hug your knees into your chest before Shavasana, or rock from side to side, or move in any other way, maybe you need to roll your head around a little bit to just free up any tension in the neck. Take your time to find your way out onto your back for the final resting pose, Shavasana. Perhaps you want to put a bolster or some sort of pillow beneath the knees, or a blanket over the body, or a cover over the eyes. Maybe a support underneath the head. And while you get all cozied up and ready for Shavasana, I'm going to pull out a little poem and read that to you, and then leave you for a few moments to rest in silence in the space of your heart. This is a poem that's called Love Big. It's fragile and sacred here on this earth. And so I live with my heart on the outside, loving fully and aching completely, receiving the awkward glances and the nervous ridicule that come when stepping beyond the social norm. But I have taken those shackles off. Unbound by the cold limits of uniformity, I am free. I am free to shout across the crowded streets, I love you, in a way that is so unmistakably true. I am liberated to embrace the angry mob with these wonderful mother's arms of mine, and a soft voice that whispers, please help me to understand the nature of your pain. Excused to approach the man begging for change, not just with money, but with the fullness of my presence, because I want to know his name, to carry it in my heart with me everywhere. Acquitted from acceptance, I sing loudly with the children and skip through the streets. I wail giant, unreasonable tears when sadness overcomes. The plague of perfection has long since given up on me, a disgrace that allows me to fall in love fully again with myself and with you, with this earth, with this life, with this. Unchained by the irons of comfort, I walk through my days, praying to myself, through my fear, my courage, my joy and my pain. Be brave, my darling. Be daring, sunshine. Live with your heart on the outside. And when you are lost, confused, tattered, shredded, bare, and broken, love big, sweetheart. Love big. Please experience the touch of breath softly flowing through the space of your chest, the space of your heart. Every inhale, a gentle reach, a warm embrace of all that is. And every exhale, a softening, a melting, simply letting be. Every inhale, an embrace. Every exhale, just let it be. From this tender space of openness, begin to allow your body to move in a way that's full of tenderness and care and compassion. Allow your body to move and awaken in a way that feels really sweet for you. Take your time. Eventually you'll make your way onto your side and up to a seat for meditation. When you do come to a seat, you'll see I'm seated up on a cushion here. You can sit up on a cushion or some pillows or maybe even up in a chair. It's not so important, where it is that you're sitting. Can you sit with your spine in an upright, relaxed position without so much effort? A place where you can be still and free in your body. And when you sit up, allow your heart to lift tall. Allow the back of your heart just a little bit to lean back. And allow the chin to just a little bit drop. Almost like if you had a drop of water on your head, it would just roll down the forehead, down the bridge of the nose, and then drop and land in the pool of the heart. Back of the neck open, jaw soft, belly of the throat soft, chest and heart free and vast, open to receive and to give. Experience your breath in the space of the chest, soft and subtle now. light in its touch, forever melting the walls, forever allowing life in. Mind in the breath, breath in the heart. You may have to remind yourself 100 times to come back to the heart, and that's perfect. For every time you wander away and you wander back, your capacity for presence in the heart, your capacity for resilience and forgiveness grows stronger. Your capacity for patience and grace grows stronger. Now continue to steep in the breath in the heart. But allow your exhales to dissolve and take you to a place that is breathless for just a moment. Allow the inhales to rise from there. As you exhale, allow your awareness to soften and settle in the center of the heart. For a moment, rest beyond even the turning of the breath in the pure space of your unbound heart. So you only rest in the pause beyond the exhale for as long as it feels tender and sweet for you. Allowing that pure warmth of your heart to soften and melt you even deeper. And here, held in the warmth of the quiet, the vastness of the stillness, here in the heart beyond the breath, ask, what is it that I live for today? And allow the deep-seated wisdom in the space of your heart to rise to the surface, to answer that question. What is it that I live for today? Maybe the answer comes in a word or in a sensation or in a feeling. It's beyond the mind, so it doesn't necessarily have to come in thought. Place your right hand over your heart and just touch that wisdom with a tender care, a tender accountability, responsibility. And lay your left hand on the earth to ground it down. May it be so. May this be how it is that we walk on the earth, how we tend to ourselves and to one another. May you know that you are so full with love. May you be well, body, mind, heart, and soul. May you have the strength and the courage enough to take heart and melt the armor from the inside out. May the wisdom that rises from the freedom of your heart always guide you along the pathway of peace and bring you and this world and all beings everywhere great blessings of joy beyond reason. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining in this morning. Really my joy to be able to see you and to practice with you. I hope that you have the most beautiful day. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Okay. I love you all. Bye for now. Oh, yay. It's so fun to see everybody here as I get back up to the screen. Thanks for coming. I love you.